It's the video that shocked people from Murphy to Manio and beyond. A huge house in the Outer Banks collapsing into the ocean earlier this year. It was actually the second Rodanthe house collapse that day. Experts say there will be more for two big reasons. Meantime, local leaders are finding ways to control the shrinking Outer Banks. The calming crash of ocean waves along the Outer Banks has attracted families here for generations.
All my children grew up on these beaches. My mother used to come with us, and my grandmother and my great aunt.
Times have changed for Pam McFaden, but coming back here releases a flood of memories.
They still are here. They're in my mind here. You know, they've been gone for years, but they're still here.
The Outer Banks are evolving as much as the lives of their visitors. The biggest change? They're shrinking. Scientists say a rising sea level is one of the main contributors.
We're looking at a current rate of sea level rise of about 4 to 4.5 millimeters a year.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you look at the big picture. That's according to Reed Corbett, executive director of the Coastal Studies Institute.
We've seen basically a foot of sea level rise over the last century, and we're expecting a foot of sea level rise in the next 30 years.
Corbett says it's a concerning issue for the Outer Banks since much of the area is just 10 feet above sea level or less.
If you just raise sea level a foot, you can inundate a very large area of coastal North Carolina.
An increase in beach erosion is the other shrinking factor.
It's been erosive in the past, but it didn't have erosion rates as high as what they've been in the last 5 or 10 years. The erosion rate in that area has increased.
Data shows some beaches in the Outer Banks are eroding at a rate of 10 to 15 feet a year.
Our beaches are the economy.
Danny Couch knows the risks associated with beach erosion.
You either get on top of it or it's going to get on top of you.
The Dare County Commissioner represents Avon Beach, an area of the Outer Banks that was in desperate need of some attention.
The ocean was lapping at the dunes. The ocean was literally pulling dune sand into the surf zone.
We were starting to lose a lot of business because this is a prime location for parking to go to the beach.
Keith Matthews has worked at the Avon Pier for 32 years.
We used to be 3 lines of dunes here, and all that's going just as 1 line now. It was going down the driveway into the parking lot.
Over the summer, the beach underwent what's called beach nourishment. The idea is simple. Use giant pipes to pull in sand from the ocean to create a new beach. It's effective, but it's not cheap.
We had a 20 million plus beach nourishment project here.
The hefty price tag paid for just 2.5 miles of new beach, but county leaders say it's well worth it to keep tourists coming back. Just look at the before and after pictures. The left is before. The right shows where they added 150 yards of sand along the beach. The state's first beach nourishment occurred 45 miles up the coast in Nags Head.
This beach has been nourished. This would be the 3rd time.
Dare County Manager Bobby Outen was in charge during the first nourishment in 2010. Since then, they've used increased taxes to pay for similar makeovers up and down the coast. But once you start, you can't stop. Leaders say you've got to redo the beach at least every 5 years. The technique has also been used to protect Highway 12, the only road that runs the length of the Outer Banks.
So we had to do something. DOT wasn't going to do it. So in Buxton, we did that one to protect Highway 12 and the access to points south.
Some parts of 12 have been in so much constant danger, they've built bridges around the highway.
I would expect over time there would be more bridges to go around the hot spots.
Even today, it's obvious the work to protect Highway 12 is ongoing. The same can be said for Rodanthe, which experts say has some of the highest erosion rates on the East Coast. The problem there gained national attention back in May when a house collapsed into the ocean. Today, dozens of houses in Rodanthe remain at risk. They're exposed to the powerful waves, and experts say it's only a matter of time before they also collapse. But there are efforts to save them.
We're moving some houses away from the ocean front.
45 feet inland to survive maybe another 15 years, but ultimately delaying the inevitable.
And it's not a good look for a national seashore. It's not a good look for an economy to have that kind of stuff falling into the ocean.
County leaders admit beach nourishment isn't the perfect solution, but it's working for now. Both visitors and locals appreciate the efforts to save the places they've come to know, no matter the cost.
It cost a lot of money, but we were losing a lot of money too. So we had to have it. I mean, there was no way of getting around it. We had to have it.
But it's just so nice that we still have the beach, that I think it's a good thing. It's expensive, but worth it.
So what's the solution here? Well, scientists say we've got to reduce the amount of CO2 we are putting in the atmosphere. That includes burning oil, coal, and gas. At the rate we're going, experts project the sea level will rise by as much as 3 feet by the year 2100, which is just 78 years from now.